Please join me in welcoming Adam Tobin. Thank you, Adam.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mayor Schaaf, and thank you all for that warm welcome. I'm just truly excited and honored and humbled to be here tonight and to be joining the Chabot family. Now, I've had the great privilege over the last number of years to engage in science education in a myriad of settings in a diverse number of locations all around the world. From planning and design of science centers here in the States, to participation in an NSF-sponsored think tank on the future of technology and education in Washington, D.C., to whiteboarding sessions in Beijing about the possibility of a second generation of China science centers that might have a deeper focus on cultures of learning and innovation and creativity, to collaboration with the Turkish government as they embark on an entirely new generation of science centers, building it from the ground up that will result in 81 new science centers around the country in the coming years, to creating a small-scale, highly localized community science hub in a small town south of San Francisco, to, of course, the move of the Exploratorium to the piers. And the first thing you learn, of course, when you do this kind of work in so many different settings with so many different partners is no two institutions are exactly alike, of course, and nor should they be. And at the same time, you find that there are qualities of high-impact institutions or institutions that will become high-impact institutions that are quite common. The first that I would share is institutions that have a deep sense of a learning culture, a culture of learning at an institutional level. That means that how you go about your work, how you do what you do, is imbued with the very qualities that you hope your visitors would experience: curiosity, passion, engagement, experimentation, trying. You would also want to see an institution that has a strong sense of its place and participation within a larger learning ecology. And that's basically a fancy way of saying no institution is alone. Learning is happening in so many different places and so many interesting ways. The intersection, for example, between formal and informal centers of learning has never been more important and has never been filled with greater opportunity. And at the same time, learning is happening in more and more places all around the community. Community. You want to see an institution that has a deep understanding of its community, deep roots within its community, a deep ability to engage its community, and even further, the ability to bring its community in for deeper levels of participation in what you do and what you create. And you want accessibility. I like to say radical accessibility and inclusion. As many of you know, accessibility and inclusion are not the same thing. Just because somebody is able to make it to a science center does not mean that they necessarily have a sense of belonging. And it's that sense of belonging, actually, that is a toehold for some of the deepest and richest learning experiences. Now, I obviously have an awful lot of learning to do about Chabot. But what I find most compelling about what I've already learned is that Chabot embodies these qualities in so many ways. If you were to look, for example, at the Galaxy Explorers program, a professional development program for youth that not only creates that sense of access, but has one of the deepest and richest senses of inclusion that I think I've seen in similar programs. The ability for Chabot to be out in the community doing research, doing outreach. The pop-ups that we create that bring our telescopes and approach to learning to underserved communities. And those telescopes, you know, on the surface, you see the marvelous learning opportunity that they are and the portal into our universe and a very singular asset that Chabot has that is unlike any other institution. And I also see at the same time the East Bay Astronomical Society behind them lending their passion, their time, their contagious enthusiasm that permeates Chabot and out into the community. I look at Chabot's relationships with the school district, parks, the municipality itself. These are actually, would be the envy of institutions all around the country and a source of incredible promise and potential. Now that's the other thing that I find incredibly compelling about Chabot, is that for all of the undeniable impact in its long history, I believe we are just scratching the surface. There is so much that we can be doing. What would it look like if we further engaged communities and underserved communities? What would it look like if we deepened our relationship with the schools and other agencies? What would it look like if we were to allow the staff, and I know some members of the staff from my time in the field, and I have a strong sense that for every one idea that is realized here, there's probably another 10 great ideas that haven't been. What does it look like if we can find a way to tap into that? It could be an extraordinary time for this institution, and I just feel so lucky to have the chance to learn alongside all of you, to find a way to work together and chart a path that will begin to realize some of that untapped potential. And on a personal note, I have to say, as I've been having conversations tonight, you know what I feel? I feel like I'm coming home. I've been traveling all over the world, and this institution is 9 minutes from my house. It's 9 minutes, I clocked it. And I have a daughter, and the notion that you can be part of the impact, that you can be proximate to the impact, that it can be tangible for you and your lives, for my wife Chio and myself, that is just so personally exciting for both of us. So I guess now it's my turn to reciprocate and welcome you, and to say thank you for your support. And I look forward to working with each and every one of you as we together write the next chapter in Chabot's long and storied history. Thank you so much.